What does it mean to be a real woman? To be honest, I have remade this video about 4 times, so hopefully this will be the last time I am here doing this. It took me a long time to really gather my thoughts, because I've been working on lots of other different projects and stuff like that, so I'm not going to waste your time with all the BS. I'm just going to tell you, what does it mean to be a real woman? Well, I am not a woman, so I really don't know what it means to be a real woman, but that's a cop-out answer, so I'm not going to say that. What I will preface this video by saying, this is my opinion. The very important thing to be done here is to evaluate what I say. I mean, again, what I say is not the gospel truth. I mean, you can have your own different opinions of what it means to be a woman, and I think it's important that women and ladies think about what it means to be a real woman or to be a woman of character. So if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. The important thing is that you think about the topic at hand. That being said, let's talk about this. What does it mean to be a real woman? It's a lot of things. I think the first thing for me, I'll say be a real woman, I think is kindness. I think kindness is a very important trait, and being a respectable young lady, being polite, having manners. I think because, I say kindness because, of course, stereotypically, a lot of women's role, is taking care of their children, or a lot of women want to be like, I'm not all, but some women want to be teachers, they want to be nurses, they want to go into these caregiving positions, and if you do want to go into those caregiving positions, you have to be nice, you have to make people feel comfortable. Again, if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, or just a mom in general, you have to be kind to your kids, and, raise your kids well, and, teach them, to have good morals, and I think kindness is really is a great thing to bestow upon your seed and I mean, I guess, kindness is something that can just happen for everybody, but I think, really for a respectful young lady, being nice is a really good, trait to have. What else? What does it mean to be a real woman? I think modesty, is a big one. I do, because, as much as feminists and a lot of the world likes to disenfranchise women, or tell women they're disenfranchised, that's bullshit. Women have a lot of power in our society, and to a woman, her physical attractiveness is a lot of power, but with great power, there must also come great responsibility, and so the modesty part of that is not using your body to manipulate the men around you, I think, and also modesty kind of helps in play with your self-esteem as well. I think modesty is very important because, as a woman, instead of, fighting to have everyone else accept that you can dress a certain way or dress as revealing as you want to, when it comes to modesty, it's a purposeful decision that you say to yourself, I want to, you say, I understand I can present myself in any way, but I want to come off, as a respectful young lady, so I'm going to dress a certain way. I'm going to show the world this is what I want to be, or this is what I want to represent. Instead of fighting to get everyone else to, stop slut shaming, and you're fighting to get everyone else to accept you wearing some short shorts, you say, I understand I can do that, but I don't want to. You understand, that you can use your attractiveness to manipulate people, but instead you decide you want to be more conservative, or instead you decide you want to respect yourself. And I think that's a very important trait, that really makes a real woman, or a real confident young lady. When you really kind of get out of yourself, you get out of that low self-esteem, or get out of that idea of trying to be attractive. Because again, being attractive really only is important when you're trying to date someone. Outside of that, there's no real reason to focus primarily on trying to be physically attractive, other than trying to get someone to like you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Another important thing, being a real woman. Let me think. One thing for me, I would say definitely trustworthiness. I think too many times, in my experience, a lot of women I've met or I've talked to will say one thing but do the other, and I feel that is a terrible quality in a lot of different girls I've talked to. I think, to be a real woman, you have to understand how you feel. You have to utilize your emotional intelligence correctly. And again, that kind of goes with great power, As a real woman, I think you have to understand your emotions, and you have to be willing to engage and try to fix any problem that you have. And you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. Because like I said, I think too many women I've interacted with, again, will say one thing and they'll do the other. And I think, and I don't mean like they'll change their mind, because again, changing your mind is completely different. Like if you evaluate the problem or you evaluate your decision and then you change it, that's fine. But I mean, like a lot of women, for example, my ex-girlfriend, too many times between the time I knew her, she would say, don't talk to me, leave me alone, don't say anything else to me ever again. And then a couple weeks later, or a couple days sometimes, she'll start hanging out with me and my friends, and it would really confuse me because I wouldn't know what to do. I think, to be a respectable woman, you have to be concrete in what you say sometimes. Sometimes you're going to have to be steadfast. Or if you do want to change your mind, or if you do want to change your decision, you're going to have to admit that you were wrong too. And I think humility then comes into that. So you got to be trustworthy. You have to be humble. A lot of women, a lot of people always say you can't beat a woman in an argument. I think as a real woman, you're going to have to concede sometimes. You're going to have to compromise. You're going to have to say, okay, I fucked up, and so let's fix this problem. So I think the next thing I say, be a real woman, is loyalty. I think as a woman, you definitely have options. Even girls who don't consider themselves to be attractive definitely have options. And I think, to be a real woman, you have to be able to stay with a man. You have to be able to love a man. And if you want to have a relationship with them, you have to be able to stand by them even when there's problems going on. I think there are too many girls I've met, too many girls I've known who just lack the ability to commit. And true and all that. I mean, there's men who lack the ability to commit. That's just a people thing, But I think for women, definitely, because again, with women, they definitely have more options than men usually do. I say to be a real woman, you have to be loyal. You have to be able to stand next to someone you say you care about, and that goes back to the whole, you gotta say what you mean, you gotta mean what you say, you have to be trustworthy, you have to be loyal, you have to, you can't cheat on your boyfriend, you can't do any of that. If you want to leave, then that goes with you being honest with how you feel and leaving instead of cheating and trying to keep people in relationships. Like same thing with like the friend zone. I think that's the next thing, I guess. You can't manipulate people. That goes with honesty. You can't, because again, a lot of women I've seen in life are very manipulative. Even if some of them don't really even, I don't know. I don't think you can accidentally manipulate someone. So again, you have to be honest, trustworthy, loyal. So you can't use your inherent power to manipulate the people around you. And again, a lot of people will say that women are disenfranchised and have no power. That's not true at all. Women have lots of power in our society, and I think to be a real woman, you have to understand, that you do obtain a lot of things for just being a woman. And while it's true you may not have a lot of physical prowess, lots of men definitely will jump the gun to protect you, and you shouldn't take advantage of that. I think a real woman, I don't think takes advantage of the things that people give to her. I think a real woman appreciates it. A real woman understands that if a man is kind to her, that's not something she's owed. That's a remarkable thing, and she should really appreciate that. I think a real woman doesn't have a spoiled princess attitude, but a real woman understands, that a man being kind to her, or people in general being nice to her, is a great thing. Saying, I think a real woman can take a compliment. I think a real woman, again, is humble, and a real woman is willing to admit her mistakes. A real woman is, not super irrational. And again, irrationality is a thing that isn't in humans. But again, a lot more women are more in touch with their emotions, and I think to be a real woman, you have to keep your emotions in check. And of course, I mean, that's something, it takes time and practice and discipline. I'm not saying that all women are super irrational or anything like that, but I think too many women make decisions based on how they feel, and I don't think that's not the best thing. And I think you have to learn how to evaluate when it is fine to be logical and when you can be emotional. And again, a lot of these things are just kind of traits that really make up a good person. Of course, a man can have all these things too, but I think, a lot of that other stuff is kind of inherent in a lot of young men. I think there are different standards that men and women have to have. So again, I guess sum it all up, to be a real woman, you have to be kind, you have to be patient, you have to be loyal, you have to be trustworthy, You have to be emotionally intelligent. You can't be manipulative, and you have to say what you mean. You gotta mean what you say. You can't be flip-floppity. You know, too many young ladies are flip-floppity. Too many women don't even know how they feel or why they feel that way. And you have to be critical of your emotions, and you have to really understand, you know, because I know a lot of women are very social creatures and very emotionally intelligent, and you have to keep that in check, you know, to be a real woman. You know, so those are my thoughts in detail on what it means to be a real woman. Again, I mean, you know, you guys don't have to do anything that I say. I mean, if you don't think these are qualities to make a real woman, okay, fine. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, life goes on, you know. But again, they're not bad qualities. You know, if you do follow this, you know, it's not a problem. You know, but I do think a lot of women do need to really think about what does it mean to be a woman, because I notice a lot of women don't have that real role model of femininity, really, to really teach them what it means to be a woman, the same way a lot of young men don't have that model of masculinity to teach them to be a real man. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the subject matter. Good news is part 3 is up on my extended channel. A link to part 3 should be about right here. And I want to thank you guys for being patient, waiting for such a long time for me to get this video out. So yeah, with that being said, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, part 3 is up on the extended channel. Go check that out. And with that being said, I hope you guys liked today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, have a great day. I will see you cool cats soon. Adios.